territories and pioneering. So in the house this afternoon, we have a pioneer. Get excited, everybody. Get excited. Noli, how are you this afternoon?
I feel great. Thank you, TC. A little bit nervous.
No need to
Yes, a
be.
little bit nervous. I think the nerves are coming back because now I'm going back into my public speaking engagements as well.
Oh
So
no,
this
please just
invitation
relax.
came, but I'll relax. I'll gather my senses and just
Mm.
get into it.
It's exciting to have you here. Indeed, an honor and a privilege. I mean, you're a busy woman. It's no child's play to be a CEO of, a spa, but you've made your time. So we really, really appreciate you for that, for coming through. This is really an opportunity for us to get to know who Noli is, the work that you've done to inspire other people out there as well, so that they can also, reach for their goals and their dreams like you have. So, Noli, I need to understand why wellness. I mean, out of all the things that one can do, the world is our oyster. There are so many opportunities in every sort of a faculty or, wherever you go, and you choose wellness. And this is not to downplay wellness, but just to ask you the question, why wellness?
Wow, TC, for me, maybe let me take it steps back, just back to basics. The reason why actually, I started, Relax Spas, it actually moved from beauty. I was passionate about beauty, inspired by my mom, with her love for products. Back in the day, our parents used to love products and makeup, and I was a typical girly girl. So that really, really inspired me to get into the beauty industry. And after matric, I studied dermatology.
Ah.
And I think as I then was journeying as the spa therapist, I really, really loved, interacting with people, giving them advice and making them feel good about themselves. Because, when you look good, you feel good. So when I started in 2010, it was not necessarily sort of wellness focused, but over time, taking into consideration what we've been experiencing in the world
Yeah.
from also an economic perspective, moved and integrated wellness spa therapies within the services that we offer at the spa. So it was really inspired just by, educating people about wellness, which is not necessarily only just internal, but also outward as well. So, because when you look good internally, you basically then look good externally.
Yes.
And also then encompassing the mental, wellness as well into it as well. So it was really, really just like a passion for me, a love for people and seeing people like advising them holistically how they can actually lead a wellness focused life, and also from a health perspective, eating perspective, and advising them about those daily habits that actually, help in terms of investing in ourselves from a wellness perspective and live such lives that actually ends up being, holistically we're investing in ourselves and we're living a wellness orientated life. So that basically is what inspired me to really just be steadfast in this specific wellness space. And also it's quite an industry that is not necessarily tapped a lot by people of color. So being an ambassador also in terms of from a wellness perspective to say, our culture perhaps in the olden days, we did not really focus on wellness initiatives. So seeing, I'll still say young, a young,
You are young.
young person, driving, wellness education in this space was also what inspired me to be able to give back and just educate people in that sense.
I love it because you're pioneering, you're going where no one else has gone before, that it is a person of color. And you are female in that regard as well. So there's a lot that you're, pushing through. I'm going to come to the challenges now, the things that you've experienced that haven't been great in the journey. Feel free.
Okay. Yes.
You don't have to hold back, or you can hold back if you don't want to mention everything.
Yes.
Since you established Relax SA, Relax Spa, how has that, the challenges been for you? And also, how have you overcome those challenges? What techniques have you used to assist you in navigating the challenges?
Yes. So the first, and I think that was the hardest, challenge was being seen as a businesswoman, that you actually, you're building a credible business, you're wanting to leave a legacy behind. So people looking at you as this young, pretty girl walking into a hotel and wanting to partner, with hotels. And we know it's a male-dominated industry.
Yeah.
The decision-making, that sits in the high seats that are decision makers, it's all male. So that was, I think, the biggest challenge, I think, for me. And secondary to that was that the one challenge was perhaps the lack of education and knowledge, because you start a business out of a passion without a business plan, and you just hope and pray that it's going to work, accordingly. And then when the months come, it does not add up. So I think lack of education was also the second.
Yeah.
And how I overcame, I think, the first challenge that I mentioned in terms of being seen as a credible business person. I was working and offering the services, because the business started as a mobile spa company. So we're basically going all around in terms of the Western Cape area, in and around the city center and surrounding areas. And in doing that, so you are offering the service yourself, and after the treatment, you put on your CEO hat or your spa manager hat to be able to converse with the general manager of the hotel. So there's that fine line. Then how do you actually then differentiate between the two? But the beauty in the journey is that you're able to experience all the different challenges that come with. And also when you have staff that you start to employ, they get to understand that you don't necessarily in the business, to make necessarily, it's not financially driven from a money perspective. You're building from a passion. And then over time, the money comes in because your passion is basically speaking for itself. And how I overcame that challenge, as I was working in different hotels, I was very particular in terms of, I do business with businesses that share a common value in terms of the value system.
I love that.
And where there is also a synergy and similarity in terms of the vision. That was really important for me, because when I saw how the leaders within that specific, hotel, treat their staff, it also told me, how are they going to receive you as a person? So that's basically how I also overcame that challenge, because once I basically used that as a non-negotiable as I was building my business, the right people actually started getting drawn to me. And then that, at the same time, that meant letting go of other hotels or guest houses that I was working with that were not aligned with my values and principles and my mission, which meant letting go of some revenue as well.
Sure.
But, by shredding a few, you actually gain a few as well. Gain a few, intentionally so as well, because it's all calculated, right? And you're working towards, you're building a legacy and you're building a foundation, for yourself. And that's basically then how I overcame that specific challenge in terms of, dealing with people in leadership and perhaps at the time feeling as though they're unreachable, and also drawing in and say, this is what I would like to build. This is what I am building. Actually, you're part of it now. Can you come on board and help me? Because I cannot do it on my own. I need vision partners, and I have selected you. And then lucky enough, perhaps I don't want to say lucky because it's not luck. It's hard work and determination and also believing in yourself and your capability and the difference that you're actually bringing from a value perspective. So I emphasize on value because I add value. When you're partnering with Noli, Relax Spas, you're partnering also with Noli because Noli also then Relax Spa starts becoming a vision partner as you are creating wellness concepts for your, for your hotels. So that's how I overcame that challenge, and I'm glad I did it. And then the second challenge in terms of lack of, knowledge and education, because I didn't study how to, run a business. Perhaps at school there is one small module, but it's not informative enough to be able to help you build the legacy that you want to leave behind. Yes. So what I did, drawing closer. Like, for instance, there's associations and the establishments, if I can mention a few, like CEDA, your NYDA. I think that time I was like still so young within the youth bracket. So NYDA helped me. And also from a mentorship perspective as well, because some of the learnings that we need are not in a textbook. We get them from senior leaders that have been running businesses and building businesses. So I drew closer, to the leaders that I handpicked. And with that also came a bit of a challenge, but it was a challenge that was helping me grow as a person, as an entrepreneur, and also as a person, as a person who's a change maker, because I'm quite active within, the communities as well that I work in, because it needed me to be vulnerable and just put myself out there. And I'm grateful I did that. And coming from a place of having been an introvert, now I'm a bit of a extrovert.
You have to be.
Yes, depending on the situation, yes. So I drew to my leaders and the different associations. I got myself mentors. And my mentors varied. Like, for instance, I never had a mentor who is from the wellness industry.
That's so awesome.
You know? And people often look at that and with a question mark and they ask, but why? People see me as competition. And then I ask myself this question, but our visions are different. Our purpose is different. Our mission is different. All I'm asking is for guidance. We might be in the same space, but our vision, our mission is different. So then again, I drew closer to the leaders that I had access to from the hotels that I was working with, and that was just a change maker. And then additionally to that, I then also sourced for some short courses because the organizations like your CEDAs and NYDA again, they offer workshops that do not cost you as a startup. Then also as I then gradually grew as a person, as an entrepreneur, I then invested in myself just to sort of upskill myself from a woman in leadership perspective. Because there are certain things that you need to have like negotiation skills, gently so, but at the same time not losing my feminine touch, because at the end of the day I'm a woman and I don't want to be a man. So I embrace leading with femininity, and that is also one of the that is also how I overcame that specific challenge, and that is also what helps me overcome some of the challenges that I am faced with as I continue to grow my business.
Wow, incredible. Talk about occupying space. Wow, I am so inspired, by your journey. And the fact that you used your voice. I love the fact that you articulated and you picked the people that you wanted to mentor you. You literally handpicked them and said, I want you in this journey. So that's a woman that is intentional and that knows where they want to go. Now, something incredible then happened in your journey. You partnered with Marriott International, and you also have your own products. How has that been for you?
It's been great. Daunting at the same time, in a good way. In a good way, because now you are partnering, with a global brand. It gives you access to markets.
Yeah.
It gives you a platform to be able to have access, to how other spas, operate from an international perspective. So that is really a great experience, I think, for myself, and that was one of the defining moments, I think, for me in my journey. Because in 2019, I actually traveled to Dubai and I went and I visited a few Marriott-owned spas to see how they actually manage their spa operations. And how that actually came about. Humility has a lot, I think, to do with it.
Wow.
Going back to what I shared with you when I said, I would like you to help me, I cannot do it on my own. We can work together as partners. We collaborate so that we can grow with this and add value. So it's really a great platform, really, really a great opportunity. And it doesn't come things like that don't happen, because with the traveling, it was a partnership. So I funded a bit financially as well as Marriott did as well, because remember, it's a partnership. And what I often also share with other entrepreneurs is that sometimes support is not necessarily financial support.
Yes.
You meet each other halfway and you are open and transparent in terms of what it is that you can, manage on your own, by yourself, and then they help you where they can. So that really was a good platform for me, and it opens quite a number of doors from a speaking perspective, because now from time to time I would be called in to engage with the staff, and share my journey with them in an effort to inspire them.
Yes.
Because even now, I see myself as part of Marriott International, even though we are a service provider.
Yes.
Because we understand the challenges that we have as women, especially women of color, wanting to grow in this space and in this industry. And I love the fact that, they walk their talk, they listen, so they took me in and I was included. And you could see that it's not necessarily because, South Africa or the world preaches inclusion. Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Because you find that, in my experience, it was just a matter of just meeting the core, what's needed to be done from a transformation perspective. And with them, yes, well, it's a requirement, but it's not driven by that. It's driven by the passion, the value that you're adding, and also the value that I'm adding, in terms of the communities. Because my other passion as well, in terms of, doing what I do, creating opportunities for other women of color, and even men for that matter, to be and have build a career in an industry that was in the past only for select few. And that's just the reality that we're living in, and that's basically the space where I saw myself being the change that I want to see happen, and then be the voice for the people that don't want to voice these challenges, and they've embraced that. So I really like that. It's a platform and a partnership that does not silence you, but allows you to really just be the dynamite that you are. So it's really just has been a blessing for me. And then when we come to my products, so I've had the range of products since 2011 actually. Because as entrepreneurs, when you sort of move away and you start your own business, you now start seeing opportunities that you can actually tap in that will basically complement your core business. And I started with 3 oils at the time that we were using in my spas, and we're still using them in my spas. And now the mission for 2024 4 is that we get it to other spas. So we're going to start supplying spas. I'm planning on also like working on a plan to go into retail as well. So we know how competitive that space is. But it's doable. You know, I can do it. I see other entrepreneurs doing it. I can do it. And this relationship also with Marriott affords me the opportunity and the platform to also do that. Because when we are invited at events, I take my products with me, even though we're not necessarily selling them at a greater scope. But I have my Yoko machine that I go with, and I have become like an independent distributor, independently of the spas, even though the products are available at the spas. So that's really, really exciting because it's lifestyle products where you're able to take an extension of Relax Spas, an extension of Noli Mini into your home space. And we know what, you know, the products in aromatherapy does. It helps with all your senses from a wellness perspective. You light your candle after a long day as well. So it just helps, you know, to calm you down depending on what effects you'd like, you know, the products to have. So it's really an exciting space to be in, but very challenging as well, you know, trying to find time to be able to do everything that I need to do.
And I think you have, you know, you can be proud of yourself. You've handled the pressures well. You've continued to rise. You have incredible accomplishments. I mean, I'm just 2015 Cape Talk Small Business Award Top 5, 2017 Finalist Regional Business Woman Achiever Award Top 5, 2017 National Tsoho Sun Entrepreneurs Ambassador Award Top 5, wow, 2020 Standard Bank Top Woman Awards, 2022 African Woman in Leadership Awards, second runner-up, incredible. So people around you see you. You've done an incredible job. Be proud of yourself, you know, own it.
Yes, TC.
Own it. In the conversation, I think what has been for me a common thread is community, you know, people around you. And I'd like you to just briefly speak on that. You know, what is the importance of support in the community that you're in terms of, you know, your industry, the people around you, entrepreneurs?
Yes, so TC, it is very important. I think it's like in the top tier because you become the people that you surround yourself with. And for me, that has really been a game changer to be able, you know, to select strategically, as you know, as painful as it can be sometimes, even within the space of entrepreneurs, because some entrepreneurs can really complain and perhaps want government to give them, you know, money,
Finances.
finance. And yet perhaps the soft skills that you know, like soft, you know, support that you can sort of gravitate towards that will really help grow you as a person before you actually ask for the finance, you know, to invest in your business, because you have to have everything in place, I believe, before you start using someone else's money. Because then everything is calculated and you are wiser as well, and you're a wise, you know, business person. So community is really, really important. And I think without the community that I surrounded myself with, my business would not be where it is today.
Wow.
And also to see what community does is that they seek out opportunities for you. If they see that there's an area that, you know, needs to be developed within the business or yourself, it's like you have, you know, someone watching your blind spot and then they bring it to your attention. And a perfect example is that, a perfect example that I can share with you that is that last year I was actually handpicked again by Marriott International to be on a program. It's like a micro MBA program for my business that I did for the past 12 months.
Wow.
And just through conversation, someone said to me, the head of, you know, transformation, beautiful lady, said to me, we are, becoming part of this program, through SATSA. And are you interested? Is this something you need, So when there's opportunity, they ask you, would you like to be part of this? And then if I feel that it's something that I've done before, perhaps, move it and share it with someone else, then there's that as well. So I did the program for 12 months, and my 12 months is ending now, end of March, actually.
Wow,
end of March.
Congratulations.
So thank you. It was like a micro MBA for my business, where you get access to markets, you get to attend conferences. Like I attended my first Indaba, travel Indaba, tourism Indaba last year in Durban, and also TBSA conference in Sun City last year. And should I not have had this community and have to go to these big conferences by myself, I would have literally just been a number, one of the attendees. But now it's all intentional, because we are, showcasing the hidden gem, giving you opportunity to go and meet other, hotel groups or prospective clients from a product perspective. This is the opportunity that we are affording you. And then also mentors, independently of the mentors that I've had, to say, okay, this is Noli, this is her business. What does she need?
Yeah.
So community is really, really important. And it's not a 1 day, 1 year, 1 month. It is like continuous, because also we evolve and we grow as a person. So our needs as a people sort of grows as well. And so is the need, for our businesses as well, because businesses, evolve. So we also need to keep up with the changes that are happening within our industries, within our business, within our people as well. So community it's crucial. It's very, very important. And also very, very selective in terms of the associations that I get, that I get involved in. And when I actually started getting involved and building a community for myself in 2010. My business was hardly 8 months. I became part of FEDHASA. I put my name up to be one of the directors, board members.
Wow.
Mind you, this is not spa wellness industry. It's hospitality industry, because that is the space where I want to feature in. That is the space where I actually want, to build a legacy and leave a legacy of opportunity for other people. And I served for about 6 months. For 6 years. 6 years. 4 years. I served for 6 years, and also attended, became part of other associations as well. And in serving, you actually learn about yourself. You're also building a community of people independently, perhaps of your hospitality partners. And that for me helped me build a community of people around me within the hospitality industry. And that also allowed me to filter who I don't want to be in the space, perhaps based on experience, because we sit around tables, perhaps not seeing eye to eye. And when you sit around a table, you don't sit there to be liked. You sit there because you have a voice.
Yes.
And you want people to be held accountable of what they say they will do. Let's say from an inclusion perspective, transformation, or job creation perspective. So is it being done?
Yeah.
And that was really great for me. And then I took a bit of a break, and now I'm back, but now not putting a hand up to sit around the table, but to see what the associations can actually do for me, because I've invested, let's say, 10 years. So within that time, I built a community strategically of who I actually want to add, as well as, prospective vision partners for myself. And great learning there, great community, great platforms, to build a name for myself as a person, as Noli, and a name for relaxed spas as well.
Wow, Noli, we are running out of time. There's so much. I feel like we need to have a part 2. We need to come back next week. But Noli, in short, the things that you've learned that you would like other younger SpaPreneurs to know, just quickly, some things that you wouldn't want someone else to struggle with that you struggled with?
The first thing is that when you are sharing your idea with someone, make sure you have a non-disclosure
Yeah,
that they
it's very
sign.
important.
That they sign. Very short. I learned the hard way there because after I had opened my first spa at Breakwater Lodge, Proto Hotel Breakwater Lodge, now it was a no-brainer that I will go to the next hotel where I was doing treatments as a mobile spa therapist. I submitted a business plan. 6 months later, you sit down, your floor plans are there, but you're not the operator. So make sure that you have your non-disclosure. It doesn't have to be 5 pages. It can just be
Short.
one sentence, very short, that people sign on there so that you don't see your idea birthed the following day, and so forth. Another one, upskilling yourself. Be open to learning.
Yeah.
That will save you a lot of time because people will learn from people as well that have walked the path. They might not have been entrepreneurs, but they are leaders within the industries that we want to feature in.
Yeah.
And it can save us a lot of time in terms of repeating mistakes that we don't necessarily want to repeat as we grow our businesses. Yeah.
And how can we reach you?
So you can reach me. We have a WhatsApp number for the business. It's 073 361 1624. Our website is www.relaxspas.co.za. We're also on Instagram, Relax Spas with an S. Also on Facebook, Relax Spas as well.
Excellent. Thank you so much
You're
for
welcome.
joining us, Noli. We wish you nothing but goodness in your journey. May it be everything that you envision it to be, and may it always be aligned to the purpose that God has for you in this life. And may God just continue to bless the work of your hands, as you touch many other people out there, and as you become a beacon of hope to many other people out there within the industry. So thank you so much for coming through. Really appreciate it.
Thank you for having me, TC. It's a
Blessings,
great pleasure.
blessings to you.